Welcome back to episode 1 of season 5 of GloryHunter. We added a couple of trophies to the trophy room throughout the course of our time in Germany. Seasons 3 and 4 were spent at Borussia Dortmund, and 2 lights are on, aren't they? We are done with Germany. Bundesliga, tick. DFB Pokal, tick. We don't need to go back there at all. Something happened yesterday as well. Not sure if you saw it. You might want to see it because there's an extra light on in the trophy room, isn't it? Down there. England won the World Cup with me and/or Ted Lasso in charge. Spoilers income. Well, I mean, I've already spoiled it, haven't I? But the scoreline read like that. England 4, Belgium 1. We won the World Cup and as such have lit our 5th trophy in the trophy room. We could have 7, but I lost the Coppa Italia final and I lost the Champions League final friggin' twice with Borussia Dortmund. So after success with Juventus, although we do need to go back to Italy for that Coppa Italia, wholehearted and completed success with Dortmund in Germany, we now, as you can tell from the thumbnail, and you already know, we are back to Old Blighty. I say back to Old Blighty. We're here for the first time in this save. It's Manchester City. You guys voted, and, well, it was rather one-sided, wasn't it? 2,000 votes all told, 70%, near as makes no difference, in favour of Manchester City. So, sorry, Bournemouth. Sorry, Brentford. Not this time. What does the Manchester City squad look like, and how much do we have at our disposal to improve it? I know that's the big question you're wanting to know right off the bat. Firstly, I have some scout reports back on some regens that look like they might be pretty damned good. Some of them getting better still as time goes on. Others more becoming available and onto our radar as time goes by. I've got scouts out looking for world-class players now and promising first team quality players to join this squad. 10 of the 11 world-class. You know where I'm looking. Sorry, Mr. Truthert, but I think the starting 11 needs a left back. It might need a right winger as well at your potential request, and maybe Bremer gets replaced. I don't know. It's up to you. Outside of that 11, it's not that strong. There is Lenormand, De Bruyne and Verratti, but both De Bruyne and Verratti have dropped a rating since I joined Manchester City. They're on their way out. De Bruyne is still exceptionally good, technically, as you can see, but they're on their way out. Verratti may well get sold. I'm not sure. He might still at 85 have something to say. He's only going to get worse as time goes on. We're not necessarily, though, at Manchester City, desperate for money. And I could potentially use Grealish centrally. I could potentially use Phil Foden centrally too. So depth-wise, I need a fullback. I need multiple fullbacks. Truthert at left back's not good enough. I want a new left back. And is Kabore good enough to be called upon when needed in big moments to win the big trophies? I don't think so. I don't think so. So maybe Kabore gets replaced in the squad as well. We shall wait and see. Maybe I move Cancelo to left back and sign a new right back, potentially. That could be the option as well. Cancelo could be moved across to the other side again. In midfield, Verratti, I think, needs to replace it. I mean, they have a number of youngsters, but none of them are even remotely close to good enough. I apologise to those that are 77 and 78 rated, but that is not the level required to win the Premier League and the Champions League. And you guys know that as well as I do. So they will be going out on loan and or permanently moved on. They don't need to get permanently moved on. We've got the money to bring in the talent that we want to, especially if we think about selling players like Marco Verratti. I will keep Rafamir. I think I'll keep Rafamir. I might sell Rafamir. He might be good to keep on as a third choice striker, but I certainly think I need a backup to Erling. And then outside of that, a centre mid, maybe a centre back, although Lenormand is certainly of some quality. Rodri could potentially play at centre back as well, so maybe a centre mid and a CDM, and then a winger or two. Now, what money do I have at my disposal to do that, you ask? 300 million. I don't need to sell at all. 300 million is our current transfer budget. Now, there has been potentially some call in the comments section to implement some sort of restrictions on the amount of money we spend. I'm floating that idea with you because I'm not sure. To potentially bring in some sort of financial fair play style regulations, for me to be able to spend that sort of money, I perhaps need to generate some money of that nature as well, like maybe half that, because of financial fair play regulations. It's not something I'm sure about. It's something I'm floating with you guys. If you have any thoughts about something of that likeness, or perhaps an ulterior option for me to potentially implement for this season at City, then do let me know. As we get further and further into the save, the finances are going to become more and more absurd. That's just how FIFA Career Mode works, unfortunately. It just becomes more and more over the top as you progress through. But player valuations get more and more over the top as you progress through. If I go to the financial, you get the valuation. Erling is valued at 175 million. So if I were on the outside wanting to buy him, I'd arguably have to pay 250 plus. That's almost all of my current transfer budget just for one truly next level world-class player. So maybe we might not have to implement some sort of financial rule, because to get the level of player we want, that 300 million might only stretch for 2 or 3 players, if that. So we shall wait and see how things progress. I'll wait and see what you guys say. I obviously evidently need to spend some money on some contracts as well, because there are a lot of players that are expiring at the end of this current season. I need to look through for I need to look through for release clauses as well. In the Youth Academy, nothing, I'm afraid, unfortunately. So we won't be focusing any attention there. That will be for a save coming up later in the year. I am going to do a Youth Academy Road to Glory in FIFA 23. Confirmed. When it comes, depends on how long this save lasts and what you guys reckon you want next after this save, a Chelsea one or a Youth Academy RTG. But we have some regens on our shortlist. There is Martino Egger, 6'5", currently at Bayern. A regen, presumably, of Jan Sommer, 87 rated. Raffaele Rossi is an Italian centre-back. Doesn't look like he's going to be spectacular, but certainly one for the future. Clement Fernandez, we're aware of. Alvarez, we're aware of. Jordi Alba replacement. Alexandro regen. Colombo, I'm not sure who he's a regen of. Centre-mid, CDM, Italian. Maybe he's a pre-gen for Verratti. I'd have to check his birthday, but evidently he's just moved to Southampton, so he's not an option. Jadon Moss is at our former club, Juventus. He, we know already, is a pre-gen of Jude Bellingham. Colombo could be a Jorginho regen, perhaps. I need to check if Jorginho is still playing. In fact, let me do that now. Jorginho, are you still a thing? He is, so maybe it's not Jorginho. It might be a Verratti pre-gen, it might be someone else entirely. There is Alvaro Calderon, cam and centre mid. Not sure who he could be a regen of at this stage. Peters, we've just played against in the World Cup final. He, as we know, is a Dries Mertens regen. Of course, Bellini, you guys know and love. And if we're looking for a world-class winger to replace Ousmane Dembele in the starting lineup, I won't do it unless you guys absolutely want me to. There is Jakub Baran, Polish striker. I wonder who that could be. A Robert Lewandowski regen, whose physicals are just outrageous. Disgusting physicals for a 20-year-old. Technically, he can finish, but he can't really do much else. But obviously, he is going to grow. So maybe that is a cheap, free Erling Haaland backup. It might be a bit too obvious to turn down. Alternatively, there is, of course, the Cristiano Ronaldo regen, who we played against in the Bundesliga last year, who scored against me in the Bundesliga last year, Roldao Ramos. And then another winger we could potentially bring in, although obviously we used him at Dortmund as well, Jeremy Albert. We loved him, we loved Bellini, but I don't want to bring everybody from my previous clubs to my next club every single time, because obviously I want to sign some fresh players as well. We brought McKennie and Bellini with us from Juventus to Dortmund. I don't really want to bring more than one player from Dortmund to City if I can help it. I would like to sign some fresher players. So we shall wait and see what you guys say in the comments section as to what happens next in the transfer window. We are in the Champions League, of course. Manchester City finished second in the Premier League last season, and Newcastle United won the league. Our friendly tournament has Atalanta, AC Milan and Juventus in it, and then the league season begins away from home against Fulham, at home against Crystal Palace, and away from home against West Ham before the Manchester Derby as we push into September. So eyes are on every trophy, but we absolutely will need improvements to the squad, depth to the squad, if we're to win them. So, what are the objectives? You would expect that the board would want everything, but what else do they want on the side? 2 young players, 20 years, well, younger than 20 years old, so 2 teenagers with potential greater than the average overall rating of players in the same position. Now, I don't believe any of those names on my shortlist are teenagers. Pretty sure we'll have a quick double check, but I don't believe any of these players on my list are. A couple are. Ramos, Alvarez, Albert, the only 3. So that is something we might bear in mind when it comes to the objectives. Alternatively, it's only a low expectation, so it's not necessarily something we're going to need to tick, but it's something we could tick, similarly with the Youth Academy one. If I need to tick that for board rating, if I struggle this season, then absolutely we can. A streak of 5 clean sheets in away games. Well, yeah, that's certainly doable with Edison in goal. Long term, sign 3 within 2 seasons of the world's best players. 82 plus overall. Well, yeah, we're Manchester City. Financially, finished the season with a profit margin of £258 million. Maybe that is the financial restrictions and shackles we put on ourselves this year. Potentially. Although do bear in mind, Premier League prize money would be about 150 million or so we can factor that in too. Obviously, they want to win the league. Obviously, they want to win the FA Cup. Obviously, they want to win the Champions League. So the treble, if not the quadruple, is the expectation at Manchester City this year, and that will be our aim moving forward. Now, I'm going to go through my squad hub. I'm going to list everybody I want to list on the transfer and or loan market, and then we shall see how the window develops over the next couple of weeks before opening the floor to you. So you join me back here as Leroy Sané signs for Spurs. You join me against Juventus. I'm actually going to play the game against Juventus to give you some gameplay for this first episode back at Manchester City, mainly because it's the last friendly and it's my former team as well. So I'm intrigued to see how good Juventus are. There are names added to the shortlist. If you have any others for this, then do let me know. My only right-back option at the minute is Pedro Porro. Like I say, I'm only really looking to bring, at most, 1 player with me from Dortmund here. And I think I know who you're gonna want to bring with you. Bring with me, either. It's going to be one of those 2, isn't it? Really, I think. But we'll wait and see what you guys say. Then, centre-back options. There are a number here. A number being a large one. And, of course, the regens. Colombo is not, as far as we can make out, a regen of anyone in real life. He's just someone that's come through the youth system at Southampton. Actually, not at Southampton. At Juventus, I think. They've moved from Southampton. Or to Southampton, sorry. And is genuinely just got great potential. He's only 81 rated. But with 95 ball control, 94 dribbling, 87 short passing, 90 long passing, 86 acceleration, and 84 agility, 85 balance, I don't really know how he's only 81 rated, to be honest. Probably because his slide tackle's so low. But, I mean, if you made him a cam, he'd probably shoot up, wouldn't he? 84, 85, maybe? If you improved his shooting. Because Ethan Moss is no better, really. Leroy Sané can take off now because he's obviously gone to Spuds. We also have... Calderon's a David Silva regen. You probably would have guessed that already. But to confirm, David Silva regen. Intriguingly, Jakub Baran has gone to Everton. So the option of signing him for free has now gone. But I'm actually not that bothered about that. Technically, he's not great. The ball control and the lack of passing and the fact he's 5'8" really put me off, actually. And then here are some more options that we've got. Jadon Sancho, Cody Gakpo and Rafael Leao. There was the young centre-back from Hoffenheim, Rossi, who is a Giorgio Chiellini regen. Physically exceptional, 6'5" with 92 jumping and 90 strength. Get off him. But technically, obviously, lacking significantly. So, what you guys decide, if there are any other names you'd like to add to that list, then do let me know. But without any further ado, I am going to go and play this cup final against Manchester... Or cup final. This friendly against Juventus. So, here is my first time ever, I think actually ever, playing with Erling Haaland. So, Juventus then, we have played them as Dortmund. And we did relatively well against them. Szczesny, Di Lorenzo, Hernandez, Lacroix, who's on my shortlist, and Nuno Mendes, who we sold to them from Dortmund. Jadon Moss and Jude Bellingham. Bellingham, not a player I'm looking to sign in this save again. To reiterate, I'm wanting to get him in Chelsea save. Dominic Szoboszlai at Cam. Then Pedro Neto, Dusan Vlahovic, and Heung-min Son, who's now down at 84, actually, on the left-hand side. Dani Olmo on the bench. As well as an ageing Filip Kostic now. Spinazzola still here. Alexander Isak. Fede Chiesa's 90 rated and still here. Luca Digne and Kevin Trapp. So they're decent, Juventus. But certainly this City side is better. And I'm looking forward to having a season in the Premier League. But let's find out what this team can do against the side that are of Champions League winning quality. Foden was sensational for us in the World Cup, of course, as you are fully aware. Camavinga get this through here to Ousmane Dembele, whose starting spot is under question. Certainly. Cancelo, that hit in hand, will look to whip that, and it's well blocked. I think I'll have to take Erling Haaland off free kicks. Actually, I think Kevin De Bruyne is going to be on free kicks. Don't you? That's certainly something... Actually, Kevin De Bruyne is not on the pitch, is he? So let's put Pedro on him. That's something I'm going to have a look into tactically. It's all of my set piece takers, etc. And who's captain? Oof, can't quite get there with Camavinga. And unfortunately, it's cleared away for Juventus after 8 minutes. I'm expecting Joao Cancelo to be very, very good. Equally impressive. I expect Ruben Dias as well. Every time I play against Manchester City... Whoa! Every time I play against Manchester City, Dias destroys me. And I'm not sure if I'm going to click with Haaland. He may be 94 rated. But now that lengthy isn't as OP as it was at launch, and the fact that he's not that good in possession, he's a bit clunky, he might not be a player I actually gel with that well, Erling. I'm not expecting massive things from Erling Haaland this season. I'd certainly expect to get more out of someone like Foden. Chance to give ourselves a 1-0 lead through Camavinga, though, which is not able to be taken. That's a lovely ball by Szoboszlai. And Vlahovic, first time. Juventus 1, Manchester City 0. All of the quality in this team, and one through ball. Actually, it's a really good 1-2, isn't it? And first time finish beats Ederson. For all of my praise of Ederson and all of my frustration against him, the first shot taken against him as I'm his manager, and he's conceded. Foden looking for Erling. Spins well. Ousmane. Joao Cancelo loves a goal from right back. Or full back in general. Right back or left back. I'm looking forward to using Joao Cancelo. I think it's going to be as good, if not better, than Weston McKennie was for me. And you guys know how much we loved Weston McKennie. Giovanni Di Lorenzo. Giovanni Di Lorenzo. Ruben Diaz stepping in as he always does against me. So I'm glad that he's actually doing it for me. And I'm looking... Camavinga and Pedri is quite the midfield pivot pair, isn't it, really? Dembele just holding up. And Rodri to Camavinga again. Oh, fuck that out tonight. Dusan's away. Cancelo's trying to catch. Diaz is going to have to come across. And I didn't get the ball. I was so close to getting to the ball, but I didn't get the ball. Yellow card for Ruben Diaz, and rightly so, giving away the foul. I thought I could get there, and he nearly did. Chance for Dusan to give them a double advantage. Oh! Good pen, sunshine. Wow. Save that one, Edison. Oh, Foden caught from behind there. Pedri, sharp turn. Rodri's a player that I don't know how he's going to be for us. When he's similar to Haaland in the way that he's a bit clunky. He's a physical player that doesn't excel with dribbling. Oh, he's done me there, Flavic. Oh, the cheeky sweat. Offside given. Wow. No third for Juve. But Rodrigo is like Haaland in that he's not very good in possession. Obviously, Erling has the pace to go with. And Rodri certainly doesn't. And he is definitely offside as well. I thought he just absolutely done me there. To be fair, he did. Just happened to be off. Not the best of opening shows from this City side, but absolutely there is room for improvement. And of course, it does take time to adjust to any team. And we have to allow ourselves to do that. Erling spins his man. Can't find the shot. Too many defenders in the way. Duchan's quicker than I remember him being as well. Or is it just that Ruben Diaz isn't that fast? He might be a bit of both, really. That's a goal kick. It's a corner for Juve at the end of the half. Let me know in the comments section, as well as your transfer suggestions. What do you think I'll achieve this year with City? Do you think we can win the Premier League first time out? Do you think it's going to take a couple of seasons to win the domestic division, as it did at Dortmund and Juventus? I'm unsure at this stage. Really, really unsure. Come on then. Let's win this, shall we? I don't want to lose my first game in charge at Manchester City, regardless of whether it's a friendly or not. Haaland hasn't held up the ball there very well at all. He just kind of skipped off Moss. I don't know if I'm going to get on with Erling, you know. He might be 94 rated, but he might not be a player I click with. I am genuinely concerned at the minute. A, that my voice is going to go again, and B, that Erling isn't going to be a player that I settle with. Oh, I'd be gutted if I don't click with him, because rather obviously, as one of the world's best players in the current moment, and potentially by the end of his career, one of the world's best players ever. What you want to achieve, but that first touch again is super heavy. Oh, Erling, you might need some work, mate. Is he off? He's got to be off. Ederson. That's the Ederson I remember. That's the Ederson I hate. Woo! Good save again. Certainly going to be the best goalkeeper we've used in this save so far, and may potentially be the best goalkeeper we've used ever in any save, Ederson. And that is high praise, considering some of the goalkeepers we've had in career mode saves throughout the course of our career here on the ChesnoidGaming channel. Can't quite find Erling through the air there. With 10 minutes to go, time's ticking down here, and I don't really have anything to call upon on the bench. This is where the lack of depth comes into it with this Manchester City squad. I've brought Grealish on, I've brought De Bruyne on, and then Lenormand and aging Verratti. I don't have the options, so I do need that depth. I really do need that depth from this transfer window, or the next, to try and improve this team. in its entirety to ensure that we can win what we want to this year. That's what Erling can do, though. Out of nothing, he'll do nothing all game. And then pop up with a goal. Didier Drogba style. Just right place, right time. Good cross from Cancelo, to be fair. And the header down towards... Actually, it's not as down to the ground as I thought it was. The keeper got an arm to it, but Wojciech Szczesny can't keep it out. And we're level against Juve. Been an entertaining game, actually. And an eye-opener, certainly, with this City side that it's not going to be that straightforward for us this year. Not with this formation, anyway. We always try, with the first season at a club, to play the natural default formation. So I will look to do that here with City in this season. Oh! But this sort of 4-3-3 doesn't actually suit my style of play, as you guys well know. You know how much I enjoy having a cam to join in the attack with the striker. And we certainly have the player capability to do that, to use that system with a Pedri, with a Foden, both of which 92 rated. And maybe with the aging out of De Bruyne and Rodri, that might be a system we move to later in this season. But I want to give their default system, with Rodri in that holding role, the chance to try and flourish and to get the results that we want to win the competitions that we want. But as it was at Juventus, as it was at Dortmund, it is going to be a learning curve in the first few months to get to where we want to be with the team. We've got £6 million worth of prize money there. To point out as well, actually, something that was noted by Justin in my live chat on Twitch, and some of you may have noted in the comment section as well, Colombo, who we saw move to Southampton, that we thought, maybe he's just a generated player. Yes, he is. He came through the youth system at Juventus with us when we were there. 48 rated we signed him at, according to Justin's research, with 84 to 94 potential. Was it 81 to 94 potential? I'm going to have to scroll up in the live chat quickly to try and check that out. 48 rated CDM with 80 to 94 potential. We found him in just episode 5 of this save. Alex Colombo is a player now we will play against in the Premier League that we brought through at Juventus. So that's the sort of storyline that is starting to build now in these latter seasons of the GloryHunter campaign. And I'm really looking forward to getting stuck in with Manchester City. But what we do in the transfer window now is up to you. You know what the budget is, about 300 million. You know the positions I'm looking for. You know the names on my shortlist at the minute. If there's anyone else you think I should add to it, then let me know and I can do so. But certainly, we're not just going to blitz the Premier League or the Champions League. The 11 is great, but there's not much else at the club. And that's the challenge at City, to flesh out the squad. Because in real life, you look at City's squad and you go, look at all the talent they've got on their bench. Their substitutes bench could win the Premier League. Well, not anymore. Or even close to it. That's the challenge at City, to get them back to where they were. Newcastle won the league last year. Let's change that this year. Let's win the Premier League. Can we, for the first time at a club, win the league at the first time of asking? We'll wait and see. Drop the video a like if you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more. And rather evidently, as you can tell, my voice is on its way out. So I'll see you next time.